Hi, it's Robert Dean Smith from the Business Owner Elevation Group, one of the founding three of the group. And in today's vlog, not blog, vlog because it's a video blog, we're going to be touching on the 3 pain points and common mistakes that consultants and coaches make that they should avoid in order to attract the right clients. And this is something that I particularly see with coaches that might be between 12 and 18 months, kind of semi-experienced, but they make some of these fundamental mistakes that stops them from really growing their business the right way and attracting the right clients from day one. So if you want to avoid all this, you will need to pay attention to this vlog, and I'm going to take you through some of my observations with working with coaches and my general experience that tells me how and shows you how to avoid all of that. So let's look at number one thing, and I'm going to just go to the whiteboard here and reveal the number one basically mistake that you should look at avoiding. Now, that says big idea. And what I mean by that, one of the things that a lot of coaches are always told to do, pick a market, pick a niche within a niche. And that is all sound advice. Absolutely sound advice. You are supposed to pick a niche. You are supposed to probably sub-niche within a niche. However, you've got to come with what I call a big idea, an original concept to what you're going to offer. Otherwise, you're not going to stand out. You're going to be a coach in this market, and you'll say, okay, I'm a mindset coach. And there'll be dozens of people that might be in a networking event saying, I help transform people. And these are all great buzzwords. But what you need to be able to do is come up with a semi-original or innovative way of coming up with a big idea that starts to position you. So what do I mean? You want to be synonymous in your niche that you're going to pick. So if I said to you, Virgin, most of you are going to say, automatically you're going to think Richard Branson. If I said to you Apple, most of you are going to think Steve Jobs. Why? Because these guys have come up with great big ideas that have made them synonymous in their marketplace. And that has to do with your kind of lateral thinking, how you look at your marketplace, the research you've done, and then you'll look across the board and say, well, this is what other people in the marketplace are doing, but how can I say this differently? How can I package this differently? How can I position myself differently? And that's the key thing. So one of the things you have to avoid is being the same. You have to look at becoming a big idea thinker and coming up with a big idea concept. So that's the number one thing that you have to do. Otherwise, you're going to be very vanilla and you're not going to stand out. And it's going to be harder for you to start to really make an impact in your marketplace. So there's the first one. You've got to have, that's the mistake you've got to avoid, not just going into the market and saying, yeah, I've got my niche and I've got my sub niche. You've got to have the thinking behind picking your niche is you've got to have the big idea. And there's a couple of things with the big idea that goes alongside that. It's, you got to go into a niche that's got some money. You got to go into a niche where you're going to become synonymous, almost semi-famous, and build up a subculture. And they've got to know you, like you, and trust you. So there's a way of doing that. But essentially, you've got to come up with a big idea or what is perceived to be a big idea. And many people make the mistake of just going in and thinking, well, I've got my niche. I'll do some basic marketing. And they get burp, burp. It doesn't really work. So what's the second painful mistake, like pulling teeth at the dentist, that you should look at avoiding? When you've got your big idea, which you should have, is what is your content strategy? I see so many coaches, they've kind of picked a niche or a semi-niche, and they're either very shy about going or using their assets. So I'll see some coaches and I'll say, hey, why aren't you doing Facebook Lives? Because I think you'd be perfect for Facebook Live. Oh, I don't want to be in front of the camera. And they're not realizing that they're taking away from their best solid content idea where they will be a natural fit, but they've built up some thought pattern that is jamming their airwaves in between their brain and stopping them from really going at it. So here's the thing when it comes to this content, building that solid content. What I see in the marketplace a lot of the times is a lot of swiping swiping. And it's not even swiping, because swiping is that you'll look at somebody's idea and you will innovate and make it more creative and do your spin and make it original. But a lot of people are literally copying and pasting, or copy and paste. They're literally stealing, plagiarizing content, not creating anything original. So again, they don't stand out. So they have a massive challenge really attracting and finding the right clients, because they'll be looking and think, well, I saw somebody doing that last month. That looks very similar to XYZ coach. And when you start looking vanilla and you've got no flavor, no depth to what you're offering, there again is the second big mistake. No solid content plan. And a solid content plan meaning, like, what are you going to put out? What kind of content it could be? You could have a free content strategy where you're going to put out a podcast. You're going to put out your blog or a vlog. You're going to do 3 Facebook Lives a week. You're going to create all these Instagram posts, whatever it may be. It could also be an offline strategy where you're going to be speaking in public, or maybe doing podcast or radio interviews. But they've not really worked out on a day-to-day, week by week, month by month, what the content is. And then some of the contents, particularly online, that they're doing is just literally cut and paste, copycat, stealing. And that's a big no-no. And it's a very painful mistake, because again, it jams your opportunity of really running hard and making an impact in that marketplace. So that's a second big no-no for me. Okay, but if you have a game plan that's solid, that's great. If you don't and you're just swiping, copy and pasting, that is a no-no. Right, so what is the third mistake that I see people making? The third, because we're keeping this brief. And the third one that I see is undervaluing. So, you can look, you hear this in the investment world, that company is undervalued, its assets are undervalued. And again, subconsciously, maybe some coaches are self-sabotaging themselves because they create programs, or they create discovery call sessions or online coaching programs where the pricing doesn't match up to the value that they're giving. The pricing and the value is off. It's off kilter. It's off kilter. It's like this. It's not a balanced scale situation. I like to see balanced scale. And again, the reason for this unbalanced situation is because probably they haven't got an original big idea. They've not built out a solid content that gives the value to the marketplace that they see. So in their mind, they think, right, I can't charge 2,000, 3K or 4K for my services, because they have not got this right. They've not got their big idea. They've not picked their market. They've not got their message right. They've not produced great, solid content. So therefore, I'm not worthy to charge what I really believe that I'm worth. So you're in a perpetual cycle of self-sabotage. And what that means is you do this, you're like a car spinning your wheels, going nowhere fast, just going round and round, stuck in the mud or stuck in a rut. And those are the 3 painful mistakes. And this is very particular to young coaches and consultants who may have just been startup phase, or in that first 12 to 18 months. They really undervalue it until they get these 3 things, until they take out these mistakes and they get these 3 things right. And the 3 things they need to get right is what I call the 3 M's. The first M being message. They've got to have a big idea with the right messaging. And what I mean by the right messaging is it just blasts through. You can have a message that it's a 60-second pitch, which you can use in your tweets, which you can use in your videos, that makes you synonymous and makes you stand out. And then they haven't researched the marketplace that they're entering, so that they can come in again with a big idea, and not only a big idea, but original. It seems original. It seems or perceived as original. I mean, let's face it. All of us probably watching this video have seen ads like Fairy Liquid. New and improved Fairy. I've been seeing new and improved Fairy for 40 odd years. What is new about Fairy? What is improved? Apart from them saying it's new and improved. But what is new and what is probably improved is that there's a new audience who've never seen that ad. New and improved Fairy Liquid, new and improved Bold. They've not seen the ad. So it's going to a new marketplace. And that is the magic that you need to figure out if you're a coach. And obviously stand by deliverable results. So we've got the message, market, and then you just got to pick the different mediums, whether that be Facebook, wherever your clients hang out. Where are you going to send that message? Where are your potential right clients hanging out where you can attract them? Because once you will do that, once you have a big idea, once you have that solid content, once you have that belief in your product and you get those 3 M's right, you'll never worry, you'll never have an issue about clients. Never ever have an issue. You will have perpetual clients. You will not be stuck in a rut. And that is it. It's a really, really simple concept. But sometimes things are so simple and so obvious that guess what happens? They fly over your head or they go under. You overlook them because you're thinking, can it be that simple? Yes, it can. And that, my good friends who are Elevation Nation, and for those visiting the site for the very first time who are not familiar with Robert Dean Smith, the marketing, aka Marketing Manifesto guy, is the crux of the matter. And if you like this video, please share it, comment, whatever you'd like to do. Please come back at me. I don't mind. And if you want to add value by putting that comment in there, please add a comment. And I look forward to catching you in the next vlog. Thank you for watching.